Alright, so our last tab is angle of elevation and depression. So you have to basically know the difference between the two and their relationship to each other. And you'll see this a lot used in word problems. So you are going to have some word problems that we're going to do, and that would be our second page, or the additional page after the photable in our notes. So basically right now I just want you to understand the word, the term, and how to identify it correctly, and understand their relationship. So angle of elevation, this is already given to you. Make sure you know what it is, and we're going to apply it. So an angle of elevation is an angle formed by the horizontal line and the line of sight of an object above the horizontal line. Now, I know I just highlighted the whole thing, but basically, if I'm talking about elevation, I got to look at that horizontal line and have to be above, the angle formed above the horizontal line. That's key. Above elevation is going to be above the horizontal line. Now, when it comes to angle of depression, now that's the angle formed by a horizontal line and the line of sight of an object below. This is now going to be below the horizontal line. So make sure we know the difference between elevation and depression. All right, and when you have a little example here, and what they're doing, if I look at this box to the left, the angle of, and they're pointing to this angle B. Angle B is formed by the horizontal line and the transversal AB. And that angle, if you can see, it's below, that arrow that it's pointing to that angle B is below that line. So this would be an angle of depression. Okay, basically they wanted you to put in the correct term of the example for the angle of elevation or depression here. So angle A here, here's your horizontal line. That angle is above the horizontal line. So this one over here would be elevation. All right, now, a couple things. We got to recap and make sure you know the relationship of between the two, because it will help when you have to draw your pictures, because it doesn't always have to be at the top, you know, or below the line. So if you look, we have two horizontal lines. We should know that all horizontal lines are parallel. And if you notice too, they've already marked that angle B, that arc, is congruent to angle A. And the reason why that is because we have the transversal AB is going between them. So if I wanted to extend my horizontal line, I'm hoping you see a special relationship between A and B, and you see that they are alternate interior angles. And there's a relationship between them. Whenever you have alternate interior angles, they're congruent. So the key thing here is to know that, and I'm just going to say therefore, ... 3 dots. The angle of depression is equal to the angle of elevation. They're going to always be equal because basically alternate interior angles are congruent. Okay? And the alternate interior angles formed by parallel lines are always going to be congruent. So on this next little part here, I'm just checking that you can identify what type of angle it is. Is it an angle of elevation or depression? And how that angle is related to the different parts in the figure. So if I'm looking at angle 1, we're going to describe the angle and as it's related in the diagram. So angle 1, look for a horizontal line. See if that number is above it or below it. That's pretty much the easiest way to do it. And I'm hoping you see that angle 1 is an angle of elevation, because it's above that horizontal line. But they want us to describe how the angle is related to the diagram. Angle 1 is an angle of elevation from basically A to C. If I look, basically this line, A to C or C to A. I probably should have wrote that C to A. Yeah, let me do that way. I don't want to confuse you. You got to know our starting point to our ending point. So from C to A. Sorry about that. All right, so this blue line that I just drew, and let me extend this page. Maybe that's better for you, better for me. That is my line of sight. That is basically the transversal that forms the angle with the horizontal line. So that will help you understand it has to be the transversal that forms the angle with the horizontal line. Now, for angle 2, if I look at angle 2, find the horizontal line, recognize where is it in relationship to the horizontal line, and we should have angle 2 being an angle of depression. And it's an angle of depression from A to C. Oops. Because now we're going down. And I'm just tracing back over that blue line, making it green, but understand we're going from A to C. And then our last one, angle 3. Angle 3 in relationship to the horizontal line is an angle of elevation because above the horizontal line. Let's make sure we see the correct transversal or the line of sight. It would be from A to D, okay? Not to B. Which angle do you think would be the angle of elevation from A to B? Angle 4. If you said angle 4, that's absolutely correct. All right, so this last one, sorry, is from A to D. Now, it doesn't ask, but just ask yourself and see if you have it right. What would be the type of angle form for angle 5? Depression, absolutely, you're correct. And it would be from B to A. From B to A. All right. So there is our tab for angle of elevation and depression. That will complete your notes for your pink foldable, or unless you had a different color, because there was more than one sets of colors out there. Make sure you get that complete and be ready to do our application for the trig ratios on Monday. Don't forget about your homework. I will be posting a partial key probably tomorrow to help you out. We will have our next homework check over that homework packet that you had. And I also print a blank one, sorry. I know the copies are small, they're printed small, so if you want a larger print, I'll put that as well for you to print out if you have a printer at home. But yes, next homework check is Thursday, and we'll have a spiral check coming up after we finish this unit. So make sure we're keeping track of our items in our spiral, our foldables, our notes, our graphic organizers. We're going to use that to help us problem solve a whole lot better. And have a great weekend. Thanks.